Here's something I wish someone had told me earlier. That clock you think is ticking, the one counting down marriage, kids, career, all of it. Want to know something weird? It's not real. You're not going to believe how much of your life you've spent comparing your timeline to someone else's, a timeline nobody was actually racing you on. Somewhere along the way, you started keeping score, not out loud, just quietly in the back of your mind, where you should be by now, married by this age, kids by this age, career at this level by this age. And every time someone else's life hits one of those markers before yours does, something in you quietly flinches. That other feeling is always sitting right underneath the happiness for them. What am I doing wrong? Nobody hands you this pressure directly. It builds up slowly. A comment from a relative at a family function, a friend's engagement post, a co-worker younger than you already leading a team, a cousin's baby shower. Each one small. None of them meant to hurt you, but together they start to feel like a countdown you never agreed to be part of. And the cruelest part is, you're not even failing at one thing. You feel like you're failing at all of it all at once, like there's a version of you somewhere that has the career, the relationship, the family, the peace, all in place already, and you're the only one who hasn't caught up. Here's something worth saying plainly. That timeline was never handed to you by God. It was handed to you by comparison, by culture, by the loudest voices around you, not by truth. There is no verse in Scripture that says a woman must be married by a certain age, must have children by a certain year, must have her career figured out before she is allowed to feel whole. That pressure is man-made. It's cultural noise dressed up as destiny. There's a verse that speaks directly into this. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Notice it doesn't say every purpose happens on the same schedule for everyone. A season isn't a deadline. It's not a race against a clock. It's simply saying there is a right time for the things meant for your life, and that timing was never meant to match anyone else's. Your friend's season is hers. Your cousin's season is hers. Yours is still unfolding, and unfolding is not the same as falling behind. Now let's be honest about something else too. This isn't only about comparison. Some of this pressure is real. Biology is real. Career windows can feel real. This isn't about pretending those things don't exist or that your feelings about them aren't valid, but even inside real timelines, there's a difference between preparing wisely and living in constant panic. Panic doesn't actually make things move faster. It just makes the waiting heavier. Jeremiah 29:11 gets quoted often, sometimes too casually, but it's worth actually sitting with here. For I know the plans I have for you, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. That verse wasn't written to a person mid-crisis about a wedding date. It was written to people in exile, waiting far longer than they wanted to, for a future they couldn't yet see. If that promise held for them, in something that heavy, it can hold for a woman quietly wondering if her life is on track too. Here's a question worth asking yourself honestly. If none of the markers changed, no wedding, no promotion, no baby, nothing external moved for another year, would you still believe your life had value right now, exactly as it is? That question is uncomfortable on purpose, because if the answer is no, the real problem was never the timeline. It was where you were placing your worth. You are not a project running behind schedule. You are not failing at life because your 20s or 30s don't look like your cousins, your friends, your co-workers. You are a whole person right now, mid-story, not mid-failure. So tonight, instead of measuring your life against everyone else's markers, try asking a different question. Not, where should I be by now? But what is actually true and good about where I am, today, right now? You might be surprised how much is already there, quietly, waiting for you to stop rushing past it. Your season hasn't been forgotten. It's simply yours, and it was never supposed to look like anyone else's.